What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 4, the reunion, part 3. It is finally over. I feel like we could have did this reunion in 2 parts because this whole part right here was like, really? Like, we could have did this when Michael came in last week. Y'all could have said, okay, get the guys ready. Michael's here. Let's get him ready. Let's get him down here. Bam, bam, boom. We could have been done. But without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just jump into the review. All right, so episode, the reunion, it picks up. Well, it doesn't pick up. It started up. We were talking about, the weird things with the ladies, Karen with that tongue thing, how to control your man's tongue, which you could have kept that again. We talk about Andy asked, who is the biggest freak in this group? Everybody says Ashley. I'm like, oh, okay. Then we get Candace talking about her sex life with Chris. Everything that she said was so bad. He's like a 2-pump this. Oh, no. It's when he flips me over. He just goes right for it. But then, like, she's like, we have sex. It be whatever she said. However she was saying it made it sound like Chris is a boring fuck. So then we, Monique and Chris, they back to having sex. There was a drought for a few months. Then Robin and Juan, they're not having sex like bunnies anymore. They're having sex like puppies. Like, really, we could have did without this shit. I think somebody asked the question of, would Juan have a threesome with Katie? He says not with Katie, but he would have a threesome. Robin says no. So, then they were talking about, Andy asked him, okay, so, we asked Robin, when did you think you guys would get married? He says, well, and Andy said, do you want to know? He says, yeah. And she said, well, I said within a year or so. And it's like, it's a possibility. It's not a possibility. It's not a possibility. I mean, I wish it would be a possibility so that way we can stop talking about Robin and Juan's relationship. That's the only thing I wish for. So, Ray says that the tax issues are behind them. He's happy to be where they are right now back in Potomac, but he's fine with wherever. It's mostly, he's saying it's mostly just Karen. But Karen's like, but Ray wanted to go to Potomac to be closer to his job. But it is what it is. Who cares? We're going to move over to the nitty-gritty of this episode. All right, you guys. So, we have we are discussing Michael now. So Andy does apologize to Michael about the, footage that was shown in that episode. At the end of it, the producer's cut, he says, we didn't really vet everything out, that one conversation that he was having. And I don't know if I talked about it in the video because it was on Twitter. Monique was tweeting while the show was going on. And I think I might have talked about it. But Monique was saying that voice that he, kept saying, don't touch my butt, was actually her cousin Hank. And, and then, Andy asked Michael, how does he feel? He says he feels like the ladies owe him an apology and should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm like, wow. Like, he is acting like this is the pot calling the kettle black. And I'm just sitting here like, they should apologize to you, but for the last, because this year you weren't able to, but for like the last at least 2 years, you've done nothing but go after Karen at the reunions. And actually, you kind of came at Karen at this reunion, but for the last at least 3 reunions, you have come at Karen hardcore. And I just like, really? So now that you're in the hot seat, you feel like everybody owes you an apology? That ain't how this work, man. Like, chill the fuck out. So then, he talks about the whole situation with Andrew. He says, I didn't grab Andrew's ass, I tapped it. Nah, bruh. You went right for and grabbed Andrew's ass. Like, come on. And then he's talking about that's a common thing to do. Yes, it's a common thing to do if you're like a basketball player or a football player. Like with football, when when the quarterback throws a ball and somebody catches it in the end zone, pat on the ass. Basketball, when they throw the ball and if they make a good shot, a 3, or get a foul or whatever, pat on the ass. But just a regular person, you don't just go up and grope somebody's ass. Who does that? Like, that's unwanted. That's unwanted. That's unwarranted. Like, no one, like, That's invading a person's personal space. The hell? The hell? Okay, so then Monique was talking about, she said she had a conversation with her cousin Hank. And, she said that, because Mike was trying to say that he and Hank have fun conversations about grabbing each other's asses. And Monique says, well, when I talked to Hank, Hank never said nothing like that. Speaking of which, my girl Bondi Blue, Brittany Bondi Blue, she was on Monique's live. I have not checked it out yet, but I'm gonna go check it out. So if you guys are not subscribed to Brittany, go subscribe to her and go find her live with Monique. So so Ashley, Andy asked the question. So with this footage, do you think it proved innocence? She says yes, and I'm like, how? How do you feel that proves any innocence? It does not prove innocence at all. Like, what? That proved nothing. It didn't even prove he really did it, but it proved that something happened. But for her to say it proves innocence, I'm like, girl, you are really trying to secure this bag, ain't you? So, Chris makes a good point. He says, usually when you bump into somebody, be like, my bad. And that's what he did with his face. My bad. And I agreed with Chris. Like, somebody had an argument. Well, somebody tried to argue with me on the Bravo YouTube page because I left a comment when they showed the reunion trailer. I left a comment of what Chris said. I said Chris is spot on with it. When you bump into somebody, you typically say, "Oh, you know what? My bad. I didn't mean to bump into you." Or, "Oh, I'm so sorry." You say stuff like that to a person, then you must not have never been to New York. Well, if New Yorkers are rude enough to bump into somebody and not at least say, "Excuse me, I don't want to come to New York." But you are correct. I've never been to New York. But if a New Yorker is that fucking rude, it's best that I don't come. Because if you bump into me, I'm gonna say, "God damn!" If you bump into me and don't acknowledge that you hit me, I'm gonna cuss you the fuck out, and then we might end up fighting. But I'm gonna cuss you the fuck out and be like, "Hey, motherfucker, you just bumped into me." Like, God damn, a human being is standing right here, and I've actually done that plenty of times before. I've done it more than once to people who just bump into me and just walk right by me. I'm like, God damn, a person was standing right there, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you ain't got to be so rude." No, I had somebody tell me I didn't have to be so rude. I'm like, I didn't have to be so rude, but you didn't have to be so rude as to bump into me, step on my feet, and I say, "Excuse me." So I'm the rude one. I'm the rude one, but you bumped into me and stepped on my goddamn toes. I'm the rude one. I'm the rude one. Right, motherfucker. I'm the rude one. You know what? That just pissed me off all over again. So then Chris asked the question. He's like, "So what happened at L2?" And he says that the cameraman said he grabbed, that Michael grabbed his ass. And then Chris is like, he got a call from HR. And see, here's where I got really pissed off with this whole reunion with Michael. Because Michael kept saying that never happened. He kept saying everything that they said never fucking happened. Like, what? Like, he just kept refuting everything that everybody was saying. Chris, Candace, Giselle, Robin, Karen, Ray, because everybody said something with the exception of Chris Samuels. Everyone said something with the exception of Chris Samuels, Monique, and Juan, who was completely uncomfortable by the way. Completely fucking uncomfortable. Because I know Andy asked him a question about how did he feel about the whole, the sausage sucking comment. No comment, Andy. Don't want to talk about it. Which I don't blame him for not wanting to talk about it. Like, that's something that I wouldn't want to talk about either if I was Juan. Alright, so to further piss me off with Michael, so, Giselle was talking about the whole situation that happened at the season 1 part, and I think it was the finale party, when Michael grabbed Andrew's ass. And Michael told Giselle she didn't see anything. And I'm like, what? Giselle didn't see anything? Despite what I feel about Giselle was one of the people who pointed that shit out. So for him to say that didn't happen, I'm like, well, she didn't see that. She's like, "I saw you, Michael." He says, "No, you didn't." She's like, "I saw you." He says, "No, you didn't." I'm like, damn. So he gonna sit here and tell this woman what she didn't see with her own 2 eyes. Like, I just want to reach through the TV screen and just slap the shit out of Michael and Ashley. Like, they are annoying. My frustration and my main frustration with Michael and Ashley is the fact that when it comes down to it, Ashley, and it's really Ashley, because like they said last week, Michael is a representation of Ashley because Ashley is the housewife. He's the husband. And he always there for his wife when she gets into it with Karen. But now that the tables have turned, they don't want, because she would tell Karen to be accountable for what she, like last year with the tax issues. Those were Ray's tax issues, not Karen's tax issues. But Ashley wanted her to be so open and stuff. But here we are with this. You guys want to deflect and dodge every bullet, like for real. Like it was just fucking irritating. It's like the pot calling the fucking kettle black. Oh god. So then he further says that the producers are lying, and Karen was trying to say something. He told Karen, "Mind your business." I'm like, who are you talking to? Man, Ray is a better man than I am, because I would have reached over and just hit his Australian ass right in the fucking jaw. I would have hit him. No, I wouldn't. I would have hit him in his jaw. Then I want to punch him in his chest just to make just make him close up for just a little bit to shut him the fuck up. Tell her to mind her fucking business, but you don't mind yours. You nor your wife. Okay. And then he says that, there was not enough time for him to grab the producer, that cameraman's ass. I'm like, okay, none of that made sense to me whatsoever fucking ever. And then, at the party, he says that Robin was so drunk that she couldn't remember anything. That she couldn't even, it's a surprise that she could even walk around. I'm like, so he is completely dismissive of everything. And it further makes me think that it makes me believe what the girls are saying. Now, when it comes down to Candace and Chris, he also told Candace that, I don't talk to you, I would never want to talk to you. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that she didn't hear what she heard. Now, my thing is three people are not going to make things, three people are not going to have the exact same story. There might be some differences in it, but everything with their story stays the same. The only big difference, and it's not even a big difference, Robin says, he wanted to suck a dick. Candace and Chris say he wants to suck a sausage. But a sausage dick, they kind of, he's playing semantics basically. Because, if someone says, I want to suck their sausage, what does that, if you're talking about a man and you want to suck his sausage, his eggplant, his wee-wee, anything regarding his male member, what does that mean? Exactly what I just said, his male member. Like, God, he just got on my nerves. It was just a game of semantics. And, he's talking about, when Candace was wielding the butter knife at Ashley, he should have pressed charges against her. She was, what did she call it? She said she was an intruder and she was trespassing. And everybody was like, she was not trespassing. Giselle brought her back in there. And I'm not going to go into that anymore. We're just going to move on. But the way he was talking to Candace, he was just talking down to her, and he was just completely dismissive of everything that everybody was saying. And, so then Andy was like, well, before you got out here, and he says, Giselle, would you like to talk about this? She says, yes. She says, you went on Fox 5, and, you said that this was dismissed. And then he's talking about the case had there were no charges ever pressed because there was nothing there. They didn't have evidence or anything. And I believe that they did have evidence. I just believe what it is with the cameraman. I feel like, either Bravo or the production company that is producing this show, I feel like they may have gotten to that cameraman and told him, like, hey, if you don't sue us, if you don't sue him or us, we'll give you a severance package. We'll do something for you. I feel like that's what happened to shut that up, because I'm pretty sure they probably had some evidence. Just saying. Ashley and Michael kind of flipped this on Giselle. Talking about how she was talking about them behind her. Talking about them, and Giselle was like, "But everything that I said was on camera, so I didn't say anything behind. I said it behind your back, but it was in the open." And I'm just like, "Oh my God, this shit." I'm really ready to stop talking about this right about now, but we're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. But then Andy asked him like, does anybody think that they could have handled the situation differently? And Candace says, yes, I think I could have. I definitely could have handled the situation differently. I could have felt comfortable enough to reach out to Ashley, which she should have. Who cares? It's over and done with. Let's move on, literally and figuratively. All right, so next Ray. So Ray said that he didn't reach out to Michael because he felt like Michael did it. And then he also says, because, I saw you grab an ass or two. And they were like, you did? You did? Everyone was like, he saw, like, you did? He says, yes. And then he threw a monkey wrench in there. He said, I saw him grab your ass, Andy. And it was like, mine? He says, yes. It was at a previous reunion. Once the reunion was over, he grabbed his ass. And it was like, I don't remember that. But then I was just watching Watch What Happens Live a few minutes ago. And Andy has had Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly on there, who by the way got some new teeth. They don't look that well. They look nice, but not that nice. But he says, he didn't remember it until, people from his, people that work with him told him that he came back the next day talking about, Michael grabbed my butt. But I mean, if he's, I don't really care if Michael's gay, bi, whatever. Like, my thing with them is they are like, they're like the kid that cried. Not, I didn't even want to say that one. They're like people who live in, they're people who live in glass houses. So they live in glass houses, but they want to take a rock and throw it at another person's house. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do that, if you live in a glass house and you're gonna try to throw something at, like, open, honest, and transparent. That's what Michael and Ashley lack, is being open, being honest, and being fucking parent. But they want everybody else to live that way on this show. But when it comes down to them, they can't do it in return. And that is what fucking bothers me with those two. Straight up, it just bothers me. And then Ray also mentions how, Michael told Juan that he wanted to grab his ass. And exactly, what is his fascination with grabbing people's asses that don't want you to grab their ass? Like, chill out. But again, he tries to discredit everything that people are saying. And I'm just, oh God. So then the men do leave, and once they break, Michael goes up to, Giselle, and he tries to confront Giselle, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And he was mad aggressive when he was talking to Giselle, and I'm just like, okay. And then, and then as he's getting ready to leave, he's talking to Ashley, he's talking shit about Robin. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, that really makes me believe that something definitely happened. I don't know. It's weird to me. So then, after the men leave, Andy comes back. He asks the ladies, how do you guys feel about this? Robin says she was confused. And Karen's like, when it comes down to it, so when it comes down to it, she wants Michael to respect them. And, she still has a problem with that interview that he did on Fox 5 because he said there was contact. And then, she says, do she believe him? Because there's still a question mark there, which I get that. And then, she tells Ashley that, she knows that Ashley believes him, and that's what she finds to be the most scariest thing to her. And then she and Ashley go back and forth for a little bit because Ashley wants to bring up the whole situation with Blue Eyes. That was a situation that Charisse brought up. And Charisse was just being shady and messy at that point, trying to say that Karen was cheating on Ray. I could have did without this third part of the reunion. Really and truly, to be honest with you, it really was not that much. Like, it was 40, I think it was like 42 minutes of Michael, and Michael deflecting. But, the reunion ends, they all give their roses and thorns. Candace and Monique are going to try to work things out with each other. Karen doesn't want to have a thorn going into season 5 with Ashley, which they are currently in production for season 5. And that's pretty much it, you guys. So season 4 is in the books. Now we are getting ready to move over to Real Housewives of Atlanta on November 3rd. I watched the trailer this week. Trailer looks amazing, and the cast photo looks freaking fantastic. Love that cast photo. So yeah, that's it for Potomac. Season 4, we're done with it. Let's see if I want. Let's think about anything else I want to talk about before I end this video. Nothing. Uh, yeah, nothing. I talked about Atlanta, and I'm kind of excited that Kenya Moore is back. I'm surprised to say that because I have not always been the biggest fan of Kenya. But you guys, that was the video. That was a reunion, part 3 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 4. Be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. Marriage to Medicine is up next.